D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I finished the latest episode of What If on Disney Plus from Marvel. And man, this show sucks. Oh gosh, this episode sucked. Okay. I thought it was starting an uphill trajectory from the last episode, the zombies one, because I thought that one was pretty good. This one is just completely annoying. And so like I'll get into it, but it's so divisive. Like, I don't understand what this whole concept of pitting some people against other people. It's so obnoxious and annoying. I've had enough of it. I really have. This episode sucked. We got to hear Chadwick Boseman again. That was a plus on it. But what really gets me is they had such a great opportunity here and they just squandered it. Okay. Sorry, I need some libation for this nonsense. Anyways. So why don't we just break this thing down and I'll tell you my thoughts while we go through it. But again, I didn't like it. So it starts off like it always does with Jeffrey Wright's Watcher talking about the moment that the time is not linear. It's like in a circle. I'm paraphrasing all this because I don't remember what he says every single time. But he didn't say something about the moment because this one didn't have a moment in it. But it begs to ask the question of what if? What if this show was good? How about that? So he's sitting here and talking, and we get the scene from Iron Man where Tony Stark is in this, Humvee, and he's doing the whole picture thing, and please no gang signs. And then they get attacked by the 10 rings, and he runs out, and the missiles hits there, and instead of him getting blown up and having the arc reactor inside his thing, Kilmonger shows up and he throws the missile and saves him. So then it talks about how, heroes are forged and everything. But they weren't in this one because Tony Stark was saved. So he's in here in front of all these reporters talking about how he was saved by Kilmonger. And this guy asks him, did you learn anything? And he's like, I learned we got to build bigger and better weapons so we can fight these guys. And I'm all like, of course, that's what they would write on this show because they're not about quality on this show. So, I mean, look at the animation. Of course, they're not about quality. Anyway, and he's all like, Killmonger saved me. He's my he's going to be my new CEO or head of defense funds. And Happy's all like, that should have been my job and everything. And then Ebadiah Stane is all like, whatever. And then this reporter played by Leslie Bibb from the movie, I can't remember the reporter's name. She's all like, how did Killmonger know when his platoon wasn't? And he's all like, are you suggesting? He's all like, yeah, I did know about it in advance because Ebadiah Stane was the one that did it all kind of thing. And Happy punches him out. And then he holds his hands up and they're all friends. And then they're partying. He's like, and this is where he's like, I want you to be my new CEO. And we're going to party together or some crap like that. We're going to be killers together. And Pepper Potts, she says something's wrong. So she goes out, she's talking to Rhodey and Rhodey's all like, yeah, he's a good, a soldier and everything. What's going on? And she's all like, because he doesn't want anything from Tony. And that's the problem. Everybody wants something from Tony. And like, what's his end game? And we're going to find out what his end game is. So he sees this little sonic boom thingy and he's talking to him about it. And then he's talking about what would be something that you would want to build. And he's all like, a robot. And so they look at it. He's like, it's very ex machina or whatever he says. He's like, I was into anime. And he's like, okay. So then they go to work building it and they build it and it fails. And they need some kind of, he's like, we need a power source. I could build a miniature arc reactor. And he's like, oh, that's a stupid idea. And I'm all like, it's not really a stupid idea. But the writers, they're going to write that it's a stupid idea. And so Killmonger's like, well, what if you had some vibranium? And he pulls off his ring and he pulls up the thing of the molecular structure of the vibranium. He's like, where did you get this and everything? And they're like, we can get more from this guy. And Pepper Potts is like, are we really going to do this? We're going to bargain with, criminals. And Tony's all like, listen, we'll send Rhodey because he's a member of the U.S. Army. And so therefore he's like our liaison. So they send Rhodey, and he's all like, I got this spear. This is, I think he says 10 million or something like that. And he's all like, Tony spends 10 million at, 12 hours in Vegas. And he's like, I'm happy to hear that because I got a bunch more. And then at that point, somebody shows up and starts kicking everybody's butt. It's Black Panther. And so T'Challa, is going to do it. But then him and Rhodey both get knocked out by that sonic wave thing that was built. And it's from the first movie when Obadiah Stane puts the thing in his ear, and then he just clicks a button and everything. But this is like a gun. And so he's all like, hey, cousin, and everything. And he kills T'Challa and takes out the earbuds. And then he, opens up the thing, and then he kills Rhodey because, of course, he does. So then he's in it with Obadiah Stane, and both T'Challa and Rhodey's caskets get taken back. And Killmonger is, he's starting war. So he gets back. Tony's pissed because Tony's all like, you didn't erase. Jarvis sees everything. You didn't erase everything because you can't, because Jarvis sees everything. And so he locks him in this room with him and gets the robot going. So then he uses the spear and he takes out the robot, and then he hits Tony in the shoulder with it. And then he's all like, I don't want to add you to the list, to the markings on my chest, to the kill list. But he did, because Tony dies. And so they blame it on the Dora Milaje. And General Rhodes here is all, or not General Rhodes, Ross. He's like, we're going to war kind of thing. You're now working for the U.S. government because we're going to take these robot plans and we're going to make these robots to attack Wakanda. So they use the vibranium that they took from what's his face, Andy Serkis, and they make a bunch of robots. And Killmonger leads them because, of course, he does. His plan is coming together. He takes him out here, and then he basically kills him like he did in the first movie and takes him to the Dora Milaje and gets his way into the throne room. So while he's in there, they're all like, you've come home kind of thing. And he's like, I see my brother's eyes in yours and everything. And he talks about that sunset over the mountain like he did in Black Panther. And then he talks about how the robots are coming. And Okoye is all like, oh, we'll take them down and, we'll be home before dinner kind of thing. He's like, no, he's like, they're made of vibranium and they're super advanced and everything, but we'll let them in past the shield. And then once we close the shield back up, it'll shut off the satellite, and then Shuri doesn't believe him. She's all like, kind of like she suspects, kind of like Pepper Potts did. So and he's like, General, are you ready? And of course she's ready. This is the only thing that I did like about this episode, is the fact that the Queen, played by Angela Bassett, I love Angela Bassett, she picks up the spear and she fights, and she's awesome. And it made me wonder, why didn't they do this in Black Panther, the first one? Because Angela Bassett is in great shape. She could have totally pulled all this crap off. Like, she's in fantastic shape, especially at her age. She could have totally done this. And I hope that they do this for Black Panther 2. They probably won't, but whatever. So she picks up the spear and they go to war. And so the robots go into the shield. They're surprised by Wakanda's got a city and everything. They go in there, they close it, and then the robots shut down. But of course, he pulls his little button out and he clicks them back on, and they come back to life. And so they start fighting, and there's this huge battle. He jumps on a rhino, and he's like, Wakanda forever, and everything. I just want to say, these rhinos looked a million times better than the rhinos in Black Panther. So work on your CGI, Marvel. Anyways, so they're fighting, they're winning, and they're fighting and everything, and they win. And so he's looking over the thing, seeing the thing. And he's like, how does it look? And he's like, better than expected or whatever. He meets it, surpasses my expectations. He's like, I live to serve and everything, Wakanda. And he becomes the next Black Panther. And while he's in this little realm, T'Challa shows up and he's all like, was it worth it? And he's like, to get revenge for my father. Yes, all this stuff. And then he talks about, he's like, power that's not earned never stays with you, or something like that. It was a good message. I like that message too, because it'll come back to bite him in the butt. And then Pepper Potts, she's all talking to the government. He's like, we're at war. You work for me now, kind of thing. You're just going to do what I say, kind of thing. She goes into her office, and Shuri's in there. And Shuri's all like, listen, she gives her the scoop on Killmonger, and she's all like, we need to work together to bring these guys down. And then the Watcher's all like, heroes may not live forever, but the people that they inspire will go on and stuff like that. So here's my problem with this episode and my problem with this show in general. We'll leave it on the watcher. It's fine. My first problem with this show is that these writers do not understand the what if concept from the comic books that made it so great. They're connecting the storylines together. All this is going to come to a head at the end. I know it is. You know, these characters will show back up in the movies, which is fine. But at the same time, I just go again. You know, it's very obvious that AC Bradley and Matthew Chardonnay, I don't remember his name, are not very bright, and they don't understand the concept of what if. It's not a connected tissue when it comes to what if. They're one-offs, and these are not going to be one-offs. That we'll see these characters again, and it's super obnoxious. Kilmonger, this is how they're going to bring Kilmonger back, which is fine. It's fine. But this episode, again, they don't understand it because the concept of what if is what if, and I'm bringing this up again, like I did last episode, I think, or maybe I did the third episode or the fourth episode. It doesn't matter. Anyways, what if Aunt May had died instead of Uncle Ben, and Spider-Man, you know, grows up with Uncle Ben? That's the kind of thing. And it's just a one-off, just one comic book, 32 pages, boom, one and done. This one, like I said, it's going to be, you know, connected tissue. It's not how it works. So, because like, what if the Punisher killed the Marvel universe? I love that comic book. In fact, I think that's my favorite one. So that's that. There's that. Now, my problem with this episode very specifically is I am so sick and tired of Marvel and Hollywood in general doing this thing where they pit people against one another. This one is very much black people versus white people. It's so obnoxious and annoying. It's divisive, and I hate it. I want them to stop doing this. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. I've had enough, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it anymore. I won't continue with season 2 of What If because they've already let me down. I will finish out this season, then I'll be done. As far as, and then at the end, they pit men against women because you got Shuri and Pepper Potts saying one thing and General Ross and Killmonger saying another. So it's men versus women, black versus white. It's so divisive. It's so disgusting. I've had enough. AC Bradley and Matt Chardonnay should be ashamed of themselves because they're just straight up stupid. They can't write for shit. The animation is not that great. So it's very obvious that the director guy, I don't remember his David something, I think, he can't direct for shit. This whole thing is shit. This whole show is shit. If you like it, I don't understand you at all. I don't get it. But you know, it's fine if you like it. If you like it, explain to me why you liked this episode. You must like Division if you like this episode. Straight up, I have no problem saying that. Yeah, this episode sucked. This show sucks. That's all I got to say. I'm sorry. I'm in a bad mood because this show really let me down, and I can't get over it. Like, it just let me down. All right. Tell me what you guys thought about that. You know, don't tell me what you think about it because I don't care. Leave all your comments in that section down below if you want. You like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week for this crappy show. You guys have a good week. Bye.